from Jana van Lent. Here's the lineup for the men's A race as well. Belgium, Simon de Boyne. He, I would imagine, is going to be one of the main protagonists. Very strong French team, including Felix Bourg, Valentin Gondouin, Florian Lepalanque, who's just finished his university studies at Butler University in the United States, but perhaps the favourite for the title on current form, Efrem Gidey. So they're the men that are going to take the pace through in around 13:45, we expect, aiming for 27.5 minutes. And they're away. 27th edition of the European 10,000 metres Cup, the very last race in Pacé, gets underway. 25 laps of the track. And is immediately, El Ghomri gets to the front. Well, we've had Moroccan pacemakers in the previous two races. Ultala in the men's race did a fine job. Their compatriot in the women's race less so, I feel. Here's Martin Kiprotich. Young 23-year-old Ugandan. And it's Gondouin who's tucked himself in behind two pacers, and then Gidey. Well, Gondouin and Gidey know each other very well. Gondouin sprinted past Gidey for a medal in the closing stages of the European Running Championships half marathon. Gondouin eventually finishing third and Gidey fourth. Gidey very frustrated by that. Said he struggled with stitch over the final kilometres in that race in Louvain back at the beginning of April. And he's looking to make amends here. Gondouin, well, fifth at the last European 10,000 metres Cup 2 years ago. So Giffray tucks himself in the front, Gondouin behind him, and then the three Spaniards, Jesus Ramos, Eduardo Menacho, and Ilas FIFA. Spain, the most successful country in the history of the European 10,000 metres Cup. 24 golds, accompanied with 26 silver and 19 bronze for a total of 69 medals. No medals in the women's race to add to that tally, but wonder if they can get on the podium in either the individual or team races here. So Martin Kiprotich takes them through 3 laps. And the pace has reduced the field to running in single file. They're not bunched at all. So they are bang on the wave lights. So they're running at 27:30 pace at the moment. Now it's getting a bit darker. Perhaps you're able to see them. It wasn't easier a bit earlier. Kiprotich doing a fine job. Keeping the pace going. Now it's Gondouin back in front. The French team have advertised the fact that they're looking to reclaim their team title in this event, one that they won in 2021 and 2022. So Gondwan, in addition to his other credentials, finished third in the Seville half marathon back in January in 60:17. That's very useful form. Jesus Ramos in 5th place at the moment, third in the cup race, 3-time silver medalist. He's now 29 years of age. Finished 5th in the 10K at the European Running Championships. Ramos, who's in 3rd at the moment. Manecho, European under-23 champion over this distance in Tallinn 4 years ago, as dusk starts to fall on Pacé. Running just inside 27:30 pace at the moment. It was around 5:42 for that last kilometre. Maybe a bit fraction quicker. Now Felix Burr, sub 2:07 marathon runners, moved up over that lap into 2nd place. So 19 laps to go. Also starting to show Simon de Boyne. De Boyne, now 28 years of age, the Belgian, who's moved up into 4th place. You can see there the white vest. Well, I wonder what's going through his mind after seeing the Belgians do so well in the Women's Cup competition. Jana van Lent winning, the Belgian women winning, helped by Chloe Herbier in 3rd place as well. So Kiprotich leading them through. That's a 66 lap for Kiprotich and the rest of the men behind him. So still just inside 27:30 pace. But it's still Kiprotich doing a good job over the last few laps of keeping the tempo going. There you can see they're right on those green lights. Finally, as the night starts to close gently in on Pacé, we can see the lights. It wasn't so easy earlier. And we expect Kiprotich and El Gumri to go through to about 5,000 meters, maybe a fraction longer. But Gidey running very comfortably, very steadily at the moment. So that was a 65 lap. The Spaniards all bunched together there. But it's still Gidey doing well at the front. He's on course to attack his Irish record and personal best at the moment. Gumray Well, struggling a little bit, as you might expect from a marathon runner. Help things along in the early stage of the race, so that first few kilometres. But Kiprotich still pulling them along. Now a gap starting to appear between the first two, Gidey and Boer. That's happened only over the last 200 or 300 metres. So 67 lap there. It's Gidey and Boer up front. De Bruyne up into third place in the race. Swapping around with Gondwan, as you can see there. And then the Spanish Armada just behind them. 4 of their squad, including the former European 5,000 metre champion, Elis FIFA. Well, I'm expecting to see this a quick lap because the gap is starting to appear between Gidey, Boer and the rest. Another, well, that was 66 seconds, so still going really quickly. And we've seen from the previous races, they've been tending to run negative splits. This augurs well for some very quick times. Ball looking very strong at the moment. Well, the stadium announcers exhorting the crowd to get behind Boer and the rest of the French athletes, but it's still Gidey leading the way at the moment. I think that's another 66-second lap as well. Now you can see that they're staying with the wave lights. They're on 27:30 pace. 13:13 with 13 laps to go. Certain symmetry to all of that. So it's Gidey, Boer and Gondwan. And just like with the women's A race, it's looking as though there's going to be quite a few personal bests set here. $13.46 at the halfway point. Well, you can do the math, 27:32. But we do expect it to speed up over the closing kilometres. And Martin Kiprotich doing an excellent job of pacing them Of course, the wave lights certainly help. So 14:20 through the finish line. That's a 67 lap. Perfect pacing from Kiprotich. Gidey and Boer still in the lead. It's been Gidey who's been working hard just behind Kiprotich over the last few laps. Boer's tucked in behind him, looking very comfortable indeed. It has to be said, so do the men. Just a little bit further back, about 20 metres back. De Boyne, Gondwin. Well, Boer, now 31 years of age, has really been focusing on the roads. Disappointing to come home 50th in the marathon last year, having run sub 2:07, but in the Olympic marathon he was hoping to do better in front of family and friends in Paris last summer, but nevertheless a quality athlete. We've seen him finish in the top 10 at the Spa European Cross Country Championships. Gidey, of course, a medalist at that event as well in the age groups. Took the under-20 bronze medal back in 2019. Oh, it's really starting to hot up now. De Boyne's got back up with them, and that gap between the two chasers, Gondwin and FIFA, is not getting any larger. So you've got three men at the front. Kiprotich sticking in there. Now he's decided to come to one side. So 10 laps to go. It's gone through 6 kilometres in 16:35. That's just very slightly outside 27:30 pace. It's more around 27:40 pace. Gidey wanting help. Flagged that Boer should come through and do his share of the work. De Boyne's up there as well. Just wondering what Gidey's thinking at the moment then. Is he just going to go for the cut win? Doesn't have noted short distance speed, but there neither does Boer. These are men who are really endurance experts rather than, like some of the women, able to claim good 1500 metre speed. So it's Boer, Gidey, De Boyne and Gondwan. And then I get back to the four Spaniards all in a row. FIFA, Menacho, Ramos and Las Heras. FIFA up there, now starting to get detached. Behind him, quite a way back, about 50 metres further back. It's they're coming round the bend. Menacho, Ramos and Las Heras. Now Gidey goes back to the front again. He doesn't want to let the pace drop, that's for sure. Casting a glance at Boer. Boer looking very comfortable at this stage. But the pace has just dropped. It's allowed FIFA to get back up in contact with that quartet at the front. With Gidey looking for help and Boer's not prepared to really put pedal to the metal and accelerate, it's allowed FIFA back into the equation, and there's now a five-man group up there. FIFA, the former European champion, has to be said, there's a certain cloud over Elas FIFA, having served a 4-year drug ban, but let's deal with what we're looking at the moment. Now Gidey, 8 laps to go. So now Felix Boer takes his turn at the front. Gidey just eases off. De Bruyne in second place at the moment. There's 5 men in that group, including Gondwan. So De Bruyne now helping out with the pace. I think that'll be appreciated by the men behind him. So that was a 66 lap. So the pace has picked up just a little bit again. And FIFA starting to struggle once the pace has increased. 2 laps ago, the pace dropped, allowed FIFA to get back in. But that sudden increase by Boer and then De Bruyne, looking as though they're dropping the Spaniard. And it's De Bruyne and Boer up the front at the moment. Well, De Bruyne looking to try and reduce his personal best of 27.57. On course at the moment. So De Bruyne has taken that lap all the way through. That's another 66-second lap from De Bruyne. Now De Bruyne really cranking it up. It's come through very strongly. Didn't go with the audacious early pace. Only Gidey and Boer did that. Gondwan tucked on the back. He's having a good run as well. At the moment, also on course for perhaps shaving a few seconds off his personal best. Well, the pace has dropped just a little bit. Coming through with 5 laps to go, 2 kilometers to go. 22.15 means that they're at around, by my calculations, 22.45, 27.45, 27.50 pace. Felix Boer, best of 27.27.11. So there's men there who can run faster, can pick up the pace. Efrem Gidey. They've still got 2 kilometers to go. They can get it back on course with some quick laps to that 27.30 mark. But they're starting to lose just a little bit of contact with those green lights. And De Bruyne's looking for some help. So that's a 68 lap. That's not going to help get up on that target time of 27.30. But all 4 men looking very, very good at this stage. Gondwan perhaps tucked in the back, hasn't really contributed. Gondwan now looking strong at the front. But how much taking the pace will have taken out of him? That's the big debating point now. So about 3.5 minutes of racing left. And it's Simon de Boyne of Belgium, Efrem Gidey of Ireland, and then Felix Bohr and Valentin Gondouin of France. Belgium, Ireland, France and France. It's looking as though the medals are going to be decided between these four men. So still de Boyne in the front as they go through. Going to be reaching the last kilometre when they go through past the 200-metre start. I think that's Baptiste Gouillon who was in the picture there. Former European under-20 steeplechase medalist. This is his debut at the distance, struggling a little bit. So 25:03 at 9 kilometres. So at the moment this is around 27:45 pace. 2 laps to go. Now Gidey moves to the front. Is this going to be the decisive attack? He's not going to let it to chance this time. Bohr's starting to struggle, but the man who bested him in Belgium, Valentin Gondouin, has moved up to second place, but he's not closing the gap on Gidey. Gidey is really flying around this circuit. He's running this like a middle distance runner, and he's coming up with 1 lap to go. Efrem Gidey is on his way to gold for Ireland. (26:39). So he's looking at around a 27:40 something, low 27:40s. It's not going to be a personal best for Efrem Gidey, but he struck at absolutely the right moment with 600 metres to gold. Ireland have never won a gold at the European 10,000 metres Cup before. This is looking like it could be a victory for the ages for Ireland. Well, they've got such a fantastic distance running tradition for such a small population. Efrem Gidey is now well on his way. Valentin Gondouin now looking as though he's struggling. It's Felix Bohr in second place. Gidey's coming through. Gidey knows he's got it. 2 Frenchmen behind him. Felix Bohr in silver at the moment. But Efrem Gidey takes gold for Ireland. Well, I have to say, it's looking as though it's 27:47. Might be a shade quicker than that. There was a timing issue. What a pity. But we'll bring you up to date with the results. But Efrem Gidey takes gold for Ireland. Well, he's run faster, but that's his first major senior international medal, and that'll be celebrated in Ireland. 27:40.47. Just under 2 seconds behind Valentin Gondouin. Out sprinted Felix Bohr. Well, you don't want to bet against Gondouin when there's a sprint for the medals. He'd beat Gidey with a sprint for the line in the half marathon in Belgium at the start of last month. This time he gets the silver medal, beating his own teammate Felix Bohr. Simon de Boyne slipped off the pace a bit, but he's rewarded with a personal best by 9 seconds. Eduardo Menacho, former European under-23 champion, gets a personal best in 5th. However, what I can say is that even though they couldn't take individual gold, the team gold will go to France. No doubt about that. With 3 men in the top 6. What a superb bit of packing. 4 men in the top 7 indeed. So indeed France, as was their aim, did regain the title they won in 2021 and 2022. As the rest of the teams coming through, I think it might well be Spain that takes the silver medals with that packing. Menacho, Perez, and the 3-time, I think I said Perez was a 3-time silver medalist earlier in the stream. No, it's Ramos, but that's good packing by the Spaniards in 10th, 11th and 12th. Not quite sure who will have taken the bronze medals in the team competition. And you can see the French celebrating confirmation of the leading results. Led home by Efrem Gidey, 27-40-47. No Irish record, but a gold medal will be hung around the young Irishman's neck. Valentin Gondouan, a second medal on a continental stage in 6 weeks. And Felix Boer makes it 2 Frenchmen on the podium, taking the bronze. Elias FIFA, whose show didn't finish, but good results from the Spaniards. And there indeed, confirmation. France, Belgium just sneaked in by no less than 7 seconds. That isn't much when you're talking about 3 accumulated scores of 10,000 metres, just pipping the Spaniards. So it's France, Belgium and Spain. What a great evening it's been for the Belgians, winning both the women's European 10,000 metres cup, both as individuals thanks to Jana van Lent and as a team competition.